I want you to imagine a marketplace. But this isn't a market for food or cars. It is a market for human. You have a catalog of millions. You filter them by height, income, jawline. You discard human beings with the flick of a thumb. It feels like
absolute freedom.
The greatest technological advancement in the history of romance. But there's a problem. You're completely, utterly miserable. Statistically, you have more options today than any human who has ever lived. Yet we are facing the highest level of loneliness and intimacy starvation in recorded history. What if I told you the technology in your pocket isn't just changing dating? It is actively mutilating your brain. What if the reason you can't find love isn't because you're broken,
but because you're biologically incapable of surviving this much choice?
Welcome to the evolutionary horror of modern romance.
To understand why this app is destroying you, we must look at the code written into your DNA. For 99% of human history, there was one brutal reality: the environment of evolutionary adaptedness. We lived in tribes of maybe 30 people. The pool of potential mates was microscopic. In that world, choosing a partner was a life or death calculation. If a woman chose a partner without resources, her children starved. If a man chose a partner who wasn't fertile, his genetic line vanished into dirt. Natural selection carved ruthless, uncompromising checklist into our brains. This is the parental investment theory. The sex that invests the most in offspring becomes the gatekeeper. For a woman, a child means immense metabolic cost, danger, and years of vulnerability. For a man,
the biological cost is minutes.
So, female brains evolved to filter for quality. Male brains evolved to filter for quantity. You're running Stone Age software,
and it is about to crash.
Let's be brutally honest. Not about what your dating bio says, about what your biology demands. Women are wired for security and resource potential. Is he respected? Can he provide? And crucially, can he protect? The global preference for taller men with V-shaped torsos isn't a beauty standard. It is an ancient safety calculation. It is a billboard that says, I can fight off a predator. Men are wired for fertility cues. Because human ovulation is hidden, the male brain became obsessed with the visual proof of youth and health, symmetry, clear skin, an hourglass figure. These aren't just preferences. They are biological proofs that a mate doesn't carry genetic mutations. In the wild, we prove these traits through costly signaling. You fought the tiger, you survived. But here's the fatal flaw. On an app, you cannot see a costly signal. You cannot see bravery, kindness, or actual status. All you see is a two-dimensional pixel arrangement. And pixels lie. Enter Silicon Valley. They didn't digitize dating, they gamified human connection. The goal of this app is not to find your love. If you find true love, you delete the app, they lose a customer. Their only goal is retention. To keep you trapped, they use the most devastating psychological weapon ever discovered, the variable reward schedule. In the 1950s, psychologist B.F. Skinner proved that if you give a rat food every time it presses a lever, it only presses when hungry. But if you give it food randomly, sometimes yes, sometimes no, the rat goes insane. It presses the lever until it collapses. Tinder is a Skinner box for human beings. Swipe, nothing. Swipe, nothing. Swipe, match! A violent hit of dopamine. The motion of your thumb is mechanically identical to pulling the lever of a casino slot machine. You're not addicted to finding a person. You're addicted to the uncertainty. But what happens when you win? What happens when you have 15 matches waiting for you? It should be paradise. It is hell. Welcome to the paradox of choice.
Dickie, are you in the kitchen? Mustn't touch the cake I just baked.
Well, Mother, after all, no one really can resist a rich, moist cake made with a Betty Crocker cake mix.
It's got that special homemade goodness, just begging to be eaten. Boy, I'd grab a slice of it too. It's just as fluffy and moist as the cakes Betty Crocker and her staff make.
Psychologist Barry Schwartz proved that when humans are presented with too many options, our brains experience cognitive overload. We shut down. Dating app turns everyone into maximizers. You see a great profile, they're smart, attractive, kind, but your brain whispers.
What if the next swipe is a neurosurgeon who looks like a model?
So you keep swiping. This triggers the rejection mindset. Researchers found that after 50 swipes, your exhausted brain stops looking for reasons to say yes and desperately searches for reason to say no. His nose is weird. Her bio is boring. You become a ruthless, soulless critic, discarding potential soulmates in milliseconds just to relieve the cognitive pressure.
Betty learned to skate and she learned to ski. She also learned how mild a cigarette can be. She's chosen camels because they're sheep.
They're so mild, camels suit me to a T. Camels, no camels.
We have started treating human beings like products on an Amazon shelf. It is called
Relation shopping.
when you filter a human by hate, age, and zip code, you strip away their humanity. You objectify them, and this objectification breeds monsters. Ghosting, disappearing without a trace. Studies show it correlates heavily with the dark triad of personality traits: narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. In a tribe of 50 people, if you ghost someone, the whole village knows you're a psychopath. You become an outcast, but in a digital sea of 5 million, there are zero consequences. You just swipe to the next victim. You keep them on the hook with a random
Hey, how you doing?
a strategy called breadcrumbing, maximizing your options while slowly draining someone else's dignity. Because we are blind to real-world non-verbal cues. Tone, eye contact, micro-expressions, deception is the only winning strategy. Men lie about their height and resources to hack the female desire for status. Women use filters and angles to hack the male desire for youth and fertility. The result? A zero-trust environment. We enter dates already suspicious. We sit across from each other not looking for a connection, but waiting for the illusion to shatter.
Precious possession. And when you choose and use creamy, pure
Maybelline mascara, Maybelline self-sharpener eyebrow pencil, always a perfect point, or Maybelline jewel tone eyeshadow stick, you know you are giving precious eyes gentle, safe beauty care. So why have eyes like this when you can have beautiful eyes like...
The app doesn't want you to find love. It wants your attention. The limitless choice is not freedom. It is a meticulously designed cage. But here is the truly terrifying part. Even if you delete the app today, even if you walk outside and try to find love in the real world, you are still trapped. Because society has brainwashed you into believing a fatal lie. You have been taught that if you are just nice enough, if you just play by the rules and act like a good person, love and respect will naturally come to you. In the next video, we are going to dissect the dark psychology of the nice guy and the good girl. We are going to expose why being nice in this brutal biological market is guaranteed to destroy you. Subscribe and turn on the notifications. Because when that video drops, you are going to realize that your kindness is actually a trauma response. I'll see you in the dark.
Why not discover for yourself the definite difference in Delsey?